The simping stories about the Philippines is endless, and sometimes I wonder if some of these stories are even true because they leave me scratching my head wondering how could men be this stupid, this weak, and such huge simps. Mammoth Question says, I need some help. I met a girl in Angela City, of course, in a bar. Wait, let's stop there. Why is it, of course, in a bar? Already, you're telling us that you cannot meet women in everyday life situations or even online and aren't able to vet them. Therefore, you've already proven the fact that you have no skills when it comes to relationships, or at least nothing else to offer, to the point where you have to go to a bar in the Philippines to get a woman's attention. Already starting negatively. However, this is not always a bad situation. Perhaps some men value their time. They value their wallet and they know how much to spend, but this person is already starting at a negative post because I know where this story is going without even reading it. He says, I met her again after a month and found out she has a daughter, single mom, come with Samar. So she comes from Samar, so struggling to meet both her and her family's expenses. I do not want to keep sending some money and vanish one day to push her to his profession again. What business could I start up for under 500,000 pesos so she can make a decent living? Of course, I don't want this money back. I was looking at sorry stores. Less income though. Another option was a small laundry shop. Any ideas, please? Has anyone done it before for someone? Please answer. Has anyone done this for someone? For a girl they met at a bar once and once again after a month? Have they done this? No, because this is fantasy land. This is fantasy world. If she was capable of maintaining a business, she would not be working at a bar. You think you are the first man she's spoken to? You think you are the first man, savior, white knight in shining armor? No, this is what they do. They target foreigners, expats, Americans, white, black, purple, brown, blue. The color does not matter. Chris responds, so many posts of the sort would be leg pulls, but I think that most people who respond seriously will tell you that 1. If she or her family knew how to run a business sustainably, they would already be running one. 2. If you send 500,000 pesos or anything on that order, it will be consumed so rapidly it'll make your head spin. By her family, by relatives, friends, neighbors, acquaintances, both old and new, boyfriends of the past, present and future boyfriends, etc. 3. If you pull back the curtain, you might see that she already has a business. Can you guess what it is? It involves persuading otherwise rational men to consider parting with up to 500,000 pesos on a few meetings. For perspective, that is about 18 months' salary for a full-time school teacher here. Think of that. This guy wants to send almost 2 years' worth of salary to a bar girl. That's all I have to say. But he responds, thanks. She hasn't asked me for anything. This is just my thought at the time and wanted some piece of advice before I could bring it up with her. They seem to be living below the poverty line. I get your point about scamming. Believe me, she's not living below the poverty line. She is scamming you and other men. She doesn't ask you for money because she realizes you are a simple person. One person who does not have any intelligence. Someone who doesn't know how to read the room or have any street smarts. She pays attention to you, sucks you off, and hopes that you want that feeling of helping her in return. She's too smart for you. She doesn't ask you directly for money. She's waiting for you to offer, and in this case, up to 500,000 pesos. Chris says it might not even be intentional scam, but maybe it is. There are so many tragically true stories of a sorry or similar business being set up by well-intentioned foreign sponsors only to have it go under due to the family eating their inventory, lending out the credit that is never repaid until sooner or rather than later the sponsor gets a, quote, money call to replenish inventory to keep the business afloat. So, where did the profits go, they ask. Then, too late, they discover that they were really in the sorry business. What do single dads do in the Philippines, says another. And Wallflower says, but why are you trying to save her in the first place? You met her in a bar. You barely know her. and suddenly you want to invest $500,000 into her life? Are you sure you're helping her, or are you trying to play hero because you feel guilty or attached? It's not your responsibility to fix her whole situation. And honestly, you should ask yourself what your real intentions are. Are you doing it out of genuine concern, or because it makes you feel needed? Because those are two very different things. What does she want to do business-wise? That would be the first thing I would want to know. The most surprising thing about this entire post is the number of men actually on this man's side. They share similar stories or try to actually provide advice. Whether this is a real post or someone simply trolling, you should never be on the man's side. Both cases, he should never send the money. C-Log says, I have a similar story in that I too wanted to help a bar girl shift towards what I thought would be a better, more sustainable life. She had only been in the bar for a month and seemed rather shy and naive, not a hardened bar girl. Through a restaurant owner friend, I got her a job offer as a waitress. Decent salary plus tips in a clean or well-run place that catered to foreigners and middle-class Filipinos. She said thanks, but no thanks. Turns out she liked the bar life compared to previous boring, menial jobs she had previously. The bar is rather fun. She gets to dress up in a costume every night, put on makeup, and entertain a variety of foreign guys, all while earning more money than she ever has before. Would not be my cup of tea if I were a young woman, but I do not live in her circumstances. Kudos to the original post, though, for wanting to help someone else out. Imagine, this is the true definition of a sin. A man that got shut down when he tried to offer a job opportunity to a Filipina. Imagine that. This is a reminder. Many of us think these women are at these bars working because they have no other options. No, the reality is they like dick. They simply like the penis. They like the attention that comes with it. They like the money that comes with it. It's easy work. While other people that go to work 10, 12 hours a day, come home and still do it for free, these women make a lot of money from simps like this, getting rejected directly, and still, he says, kudos to the original poster who wants to help someone. Are people this stupid? The worst part of this story, as I mentioned previously, is not the fact that this woman is taking advantage of this man. It's the fact that there are so many stupid men here supporting this nonsense story. What this does is simply highlight the fact how many simps there are. I would not be surprised if this story was posted by a female Filipina trying to see who is dumb enough so she can message them in their inbox. Absolutely absurd what people do for a female that doesn't even love them back. Please tell me I'm not insane. Tell me I'm not losing my mind. The best comment from yesterday's video is from Benson. Filipinos are like, Ferdinand Marcos stole 200 billion in US dollars from the Philippines. Wouldn't it be a great idea to elect his son? Then they act all shocked that the many billions in taxpayer revenue for things like flood control, bridges, public infrastructure, etc. It all just vaporized and disappeared. Precisely. Filipino people are corrupt to the core themselves before they become politicians or people of authority or bankers, and they are lazy. It is the worst combination you could have. There is no worst comment from yesterday. Thanks for listening. God bless.